turn away. Cause all the dreams you never thought you'd lose got tossed along the way. And letters that you never meant to send got lost or thrown away. And now we're grown-up orphans and never knew their names. We don't belong to no one, that's a shame. But you could hide beside me, maybe for a while, and I won't tell no one your name. I won't tell them your name. The scars are souvenirs you never lose. The past is never far. Did you lose yourself somewhere out there? Did you get to be a star? And don't it make you sad to know that life is more than who we are? We grew up way too fast. Now there's nothing to believe. Reruns all become our history. A tired song keeps playing on a tired radio, and I won't tell no one your name. I won't tell them your name. I won't tell them your name. I won't tell them your name. Hey! Time, but I don't need the same. It's lonely where you are, come back down. I won't tell them your name.
Hello, I'm DJ Phillips from JamPlay.com, and we're here today to look at the song Name by the Goo Goo Dolls. It was released in 1995 on their fifth album, A Boy Named Goo. It was their first real big hit. It was actually the third single off of this album, but it was their first to really hit mainstream. They had a moderate amount of especially regional success before that, but this was their first song to really hit big. It marked a big change in direction for their sound. Before this, that had been a lot more alternative and punk influence rock, as you'll see in some of their other songs. But this was the first one that kind of stretched over into the adult contemporary vein and more acoustic realm. And it was a huge hit for them and kind of marked a turn and shift in the way that they sounded for all their hits after Name, kind of geared more towards that sound. It features a really strange alternate tuning. Instead of standard tuning, we have D, A, E, E, E. So 2 E's at the top, and it creates, if you play the top 5 strings, it gives you like an E power or an A power chord, and then you got the D on the bottom where you put the bass notes. It's really interesting. It seems Johnny Resnick, the guitarist and writer for the Goo Goo Dolls, has said that he was sort of sitting around and he was just moving the tuning pegs randomly, and he found the tuning, and he actually had to use a tuner to figure out what notes they were. And then he ended up writing this song on that tuning, so it was really interesting. Lyrically, the song is somewhat vague, but Resnick has said that it's about growing up without his parents and with his sisters. We're grown-up orphans that never knew their names is a line in the song. And in general, it's sort of just about wasting his life. So kind of a little melancholy, which fits the sort of vibe of the song. But we're going to look at the tuning of the guitar and the main lick here in the next scene. So this song, as I mentioned, has a strange tuning, and we're going to look at the tuning in more detail now. So just one at a time here. The strings are D, and then A, and then E, A again, E again, and then another E. So really strange. And if you play all but the lowest string, you get an A power chord because you got the 1, the 5, the 1, the 5, and another 5. And then if you put the D in there, you get sort of a D sus chord. So it's a D sus 2, sus 4 at the same time. It's kind of weird. But let's talk specifically about the tuning. So 6th string, you know, in standard tuning you'd be in an E, so all you have to do is tune down to a D. That's not so bad. Because the 5th string here, so 6th string D, 5th string is an A, so you leave that the same as standard tuning. Your D is actually going to go up to an E, so you're a whole step higher than you would normally be. So you're going to bend that up. You got to be careful, of course, anytime you're bending up from a standard tuning, if you've got strings that are a little bit old or they've been in standard tuning for a long time, there's a good chance that they're going to snap if you try to tune them up a whole step. A whole step is not so bad, you know, it's not terrible, but if you can get a new set of strings on there, they're probably going to be less likely to break. And if you get lighter gauge strings, like these are, I think a set of 10s or 11s, or I think they're 11s. On here. So you got to watch that. Lighter gauge strings are always good for that, for tuning up. So yeah, that one up to an E. The G strings, same thing. We're going to tune it up a whole step to an A. So normally it would be, there's your G, so you're going to go up a whole step to that. So again, same thing, tuning it up could potentially snap it. You got to be careful, make sure that if you got new strings on there, it should be okay. Now, this is the real tricky one. The B string is actually going to go up all the way to an E. So whereas it would normally be here, it's now here. So you're going 1 step, 2 step, that's 2 steps and a half up. So lighter gauge strings even are probably still going to be at a high risk for snapping, even if they make it there, even if they're brand new. And you've got a regular set of 6-string standard tuning kind of strings. And you know, they may not snap when you tune it all the way up there, but once you start playing and really hammering on it, you have a really high chance of breakage. So my suggestion, and you don't, you know, you can do whatever you want, of course, but my suggestion is that you use another E string. So grab yourself an extra E string from another set or an extra one that's laying around and just tune it like normal. And the same with the top one. So we've got 2 strings on the top that are exactly the same. And that's where those cool, like, ringing stuff that happens, especially in the solo. Creates a really ringy, really vibey kind of sound, and it's pretty cool. So that's the tuning, and it's really going to be the main challenge of that is just making sure your strings don't break when you're tuning things up crazy. So, but once you're there, once you keep it in tune, the song gets a lot easier. So let's now look at the main lick. So there's your first chord. It's just the 7th fret on the 6th string, and the rest of it open. You can either play the 5th string with it, because it's the same note really. You can play the whole thing open, or you can kind of lay the finger across that and mute that 5th string. That works too. You could just play everything open, and if you've ever looked on the internet for tabs, sometimes you'll see that. And that's totally fine. That's your prerogative to play it that way. If you ever watch any live Goo Goo Doll stuff, though, he plays it up here most of the time. It does create sort of a darker sound to play it on the 6th string than on the open 5th string. So, and other than that, you're just sort of arpeggiating the chord. Sometimes you can hear where he'll hit more than one of the strings at a time. Sometimes he hits one string at a time. It's important that you get these notes in there. So your A there, your A on the 3rd string, the E on either the 2nd or the top string. Back to the 3rd string, and then E, A. Now, while you're targeting those notes, you don't necessarily need to hit just those notes. So as long as they're included in the notes that you hit, it's okay. You can do. See how it included more than one string in that. And it's cool to keep those high notes together. So you've gotten 2 of the same notes ringing and creates a cool thing there. And our 2nd chord is just the same chord, just an A chord with a G sharp in the bass. So we're just moving that down 1 fret to the 6th fret on the 6th string. So next, another 1-fingered chord. In this case, you definitely don't want to let that A string ring. Like on the first one, you have the option of... That's going to create a little bit more tension than happens in the record. So just let your finger, whichever finger you use, I use in this case I'm using the 2nd finger there, just let it kind of rest on that A string there to mute it. And 3rd chord. So same strumming pattern after that. Then we're going to go to a D note here. So 5th string, 5th fret, just your regular D like it would be in standard tuning note. And then same strumming pattern. So all those are the same strumming. And then we're going to go... So 4th fret on the 6th string, then you're going to hit open 4th string and open 3rd string, and then 2nd fret on the low string, and then you hit open D, your low D there. So let's try that much so far. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? Nice and easy, and that's the way you need to do it really, especially that first part. The next part, the sliding part, is going to be a little bit harder, but not too bad. But that part, you definitely need to get down first. So just take it nice and slow, set yourself up a metronome at a slow tempo if you need to. If you can get it at record tempo right away, then good on you, but it's mostly the strumming you might have to worry about in the right hand. So after we hit our low D here, let that ring, we're going to come up here to the 7th fret on the 5th string. We're going to hammer onto the 7th to the 9th fret. And then we're going to move down here to 7th fret, holding that 9 there. We're going to hold the 7th fret on the 4th string. We're going to hammer on 7 to 9. So you can hit all the strings when you do that. And so now we're at 9-9, and then we're going to slide up from 9-9 to 12-12, both on those same strings, the 4th and 5th string. And you does strumming on the offbeats. And then the second time, so that stays the same. Hammer on 7 to 9 on the 5th string, 7 to 9 on the 4th string. I'm gonna come back off on the D string there. Sorry, not D string anymore, 4th string. And then off. Back to 7, 9, 7, off. It'll make more sense once you see it. So I'll do it in just that whole section slow. Okay? Okay, you can even let up on all those right there. That gives you time when you let off to come down to the 7th fret again to start the lick over. Okay, so let's take that whole main lick and we'll do it just a little bit slower than record tempo. 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Back to the top. So if that gives you trouble, I'm guessing it's probably this part, if anything will give you trouble. So my suggestion is to kind of section them off. You know, if you've got this part down and that's not giving you any trouble, then just kind of work on this part by itself. And get that to a point where you can do that at the same tempo as the first part of the main lick, and then start putting them together so you can create like a smooth transition between them. In the next scene, we're going to take a look at the chorus chord changes. Now, once you've got that main lick down, you can move on to the chorus. The chorus changes feels you can hear in the band. So the beginning of the song, boom, 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 do, 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 it's got the backbeat right there. And the chorus changes to a double time feel. So and it's really easy to rush that feel. So a metronome can, or a backing track, or a drum machine can be really helpful here to help you realize that you're just doubling the meter. So this pulse stays the same. We're just doubling the subdivisions between it. So that's the trick with double time. It's just making sure you don't rush it. It can be really easy to go faster. In fact, if you watch the Goo Goo Dolls, especially in live stuff, they speed up all the time, which isn't a big deal as long as everybody's together. But it's a good challenge to try and stay in the same tempo the whole time. So your first chord is an F sharp minor 7. You're going to be 4th fret and 4th fret on the lowest 2 strings. The 4th fret on the lowest string is going to give you an F sharp. This 4th fret on the 5th string creates a C sharp. We've got our open E there, which creates an F sharp minor 7, or an F sharp 7. We don't have a 3rd yet, but when you throw that A in there, you get the flat 3rd, creating an F sharp minor 7. But easy enough for us. It's just 2 fingers at first. I'm going to add in some other notes here in a minute, but the next chord is basically an E sus. We've got our E there on the lowest note, on the lowest string, 2nd fret, 2nd fret. 2nd fret on the 5th string is going to give us a B. And we've got another E there. We've got an A, which is our sus, so it's going to be like an E sus 4. And then our last chord in the chorus is going to be just open D, which creates, so you got our D here, So that creates a D. Got our sus here. It's a sus2, sus4. We got both in there. But for us, it's just going to be open strings. So what he does on the recording, he adds those notes in here. So sorry, just the chords by themselves. It's going to sound like that. You hear he adds those top notes in. So what you do is on either of the top two strings, probably the one that's closest, so you don't have to have as big of a stretch, you're going to go 4, 5. And then the same thing from this chord. That's a bit of a stretch. And then same on the open chord. Second time around. And you don't do it on the D chord the second time around. Now, if you ever watch the Goo Goo Dolls live, oftentimes he'll just play the chords without those top notes. And then when we get to this chord, he might do some other improvisational things with the notes like that. So you're certainly open to do that, to just kind of play those chords either by themselves or adding notes in between. You'll notice that even if you're playing along with the record, it'll fit really well. And especially if you're playing in a band and you're not playing conflicting guitar parts, you can do kind of whatever you want as long as you're playing those chords. But just for a good challenge, we want to learn exactly what he's doing, and it's a pretty cool sound. So those are both on offbeats. Okay, so let's do that together at that tempo. 1, 2, 3, 4. Again. At the end of the chorus, you just strum everything open and just hold until you come back in. So the trick with that rhythm of the chorus is just making sure that you don't speed up and that you also kind of have to imply the backbeat. So boom, ba, boom, ba. So on the 2s and 4s of the beat, 1, 2, 3, 4, you're gonna accent a little bit. You don't have to really slam it or anything. You can, but it may drive you out of tune. It may just kind of add a little bit more than you need to. But you can be nice and easy about it, but just a little bit more oomph on those beats. Now you can get away with less of this if you've got a band behind you. If you're playing with some other guys, then they can kind of help drive that backbeat home. Now, if you end up playing on your own in a solo situation, you're definitely all that kind of lies on you to imply that feel change from the halftime of the verse to the double time of the chorus. In the next section, we're going to take a look at the solo.